What's up guys, we're back with something different. So we're going to do a nice Caribbean Rasta pasta. Now that it's getting nice and hot, why not have something nice and vibrant? So let's get straight into marinating the chicken. So I'm just going to put a little bit of oil in. So you want about a tablespoon. And then what I've got here is I've got some paprika, all-purpose, and I've got some jerk seasoning. So I just want to give this a mix, incorporate everything together. And then I'm going to add only half of this because I want to keep half back for later to add into the sauce. Just make sure this is all fully covered. It would be great if I had the barbecue set up because we could put this on the barbecue, give it a nice smoky flavour as well. But I'm just going to cook this in a pan. Right, so now that's all done. So I'm just going to set this aside and go and wash my hands. So now that we've got that marinated and set aside, we've also got the pasta cooking in the background. So that'll be about 5 minutes with some nice salted boiling water. So let's chop these vegetables up. So the reason why I've got these 3 colours is because this is the Rastafari flag. So, I mean, you can use what you want, but this is the reason why. I'm just going to slice these. You don't want them to be too thin because they kind of just disintegrate. You're looking for around that kind of size. And then I'll slice these. Onto the garlic. It doesn't have to be too small so it'll cook down when you've added the cream. And I quite like the nice chunk of garlic now and again. Keep the vampires away. And scotch bonnet, my favourite ingredient. The thyme I'm going to leave whole and then I'll just pull the twigs out afterwards. So now the veggies are prepped, the meat's all prepped, pasta's almost done. About a tablespoon and a half of oil, medium to high heat, and add that seasoned chicken. And you're listening for that sizzle. Let's get this washed up and wash these hands. So you want to get a nice sear on this. Make sure you don't burn the spices. The reason I picked thigh, you can pick breast, but thigh I find more flavourful. And it holds the juice. Yeah, so like mentioned earlier, traditionally this is cooked on like a jerk pan barbecue, and that's the reason why I've kept it whole. But alternatively, you can chop it up into bite-sized pieces and then just cook it in a pan. But I want to keep it nice and authentic, well, as authentic as possible, which is why we've gone for this method. Just make sure you control the temperature so you don't burn it. So now, as you can see, the chicken's cooked, so what I did is I just chopped it down, added it back to the pan, and now we're going to add in the vegetables. So we cooked the chicken for around 8 to 10 minutes. So what you want to do is, depending on the size of the chicken, just make sure it's thoroughly cooked in the centre. You don't want no pink bits, it's got to be white all the way through. What I'll do is I'll chuck the thyme in whole, as I mentioned earlier, and then we'll just pick the stalks out afterwards. And what you want to do is just cook these until the vegetables are nice and softened, and then we'll add in the rest of the ingredients. So I'm happy with how soft they are because they continue to cook throughout the sauce. So we're going to get the cream and the sweet corn and get that cooking, and then we can add the remainder of the spices. So add the cream in. So adding that cream is just going to balance out the spice, so it's not going to be too spicy. So you'll have the spice and then the sweetness in a minute from the sweet corn. So we're just going to add in the remainder of the dried seasoning and then give that a good mix. So now that that's been mixed together, I'm just going to crumble in these 2 stock cubes. You can use any stock cubes. I've got Maggi's stock cube, but you can use whatever one you want. Don't have to worry about diluting this in water. because I'm basically diluting it within the sauce. So we're just going to turn this down a little bit. So let's get the cooked and drained pasta. What you want to do is just fold the sauce all over it. So now that that's done, we're just going to plate this up. Also remember that you've still got the twigs in, so you can just pull those out. Don't worry about that. So a little bit of garnish. It's just spring onion that was left over. And just a little bit of smoked paprika. So that's what you want. Enjoy.